lots of very important stories to talk about. Let's start with the most important. Rolling Stones. Not only are they, according to the front of the Daily Star today, it's still in a feud. Hey Feud is their headline, with the Beatles, Macca versus the Stones, calling them a blues cover band. But their covers, it turns out, are going to be rather more limited in future, because the Rolling Stones have decided to cancel one of their own songs. They have dropped Brown Sugar from their set list amid criticism of the song over its references to slavery. What do you make of it?
I find this a really depressing story, actually, because when the original bad boys of British rock are cancelling their own songs, then you know that cancel culture really has gone too far. And, the idea, Brown Sugar is obviously one of the best rock songs of the modern period. And the idea that it is racist, or the idea that it would make people racist if they were to hear it, is completely ludicrous. Mick Jagger and Keith Richards have both explained that it was just a taboo busting song. It was about naming as many taboo issues or dodgy issues or questionable issues as possible. That's all it was about. And people have rocked out to it for a very long time without becoming racist. So it's completely a ridiculous scandal.
It is absolutely absurd, isn't it? Again, it's the ability of people to find offence in everything. And I've always thought, when people are saying this is a problem and this is a big issue that needs to be tackled, if you're worried about the lyrics to a song that is 50 years old, your life's probably pretty good.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the whole thing about cancel culture. If you have that time to go around saying, well, I don't like this song from 1971 and I don't like Baby It's Cold Outside from the 1950s or whenever that was. If you have time to pore over the songbooks of the UK rock bands and American songwriters, then you have a pretty nice life and you're looking for things to be offended by. You're looking for things to get excited about. So it's a real tragic pastime of people who are time rich and love taking offense.
Absolutely. I saw the Rolling Stones live about, oh goodness me, it must be about 5 years ago. And for aging rockers, they're the same age as my parents, I have to say, one of the best, I would say best gigs I've ever seen in my life. They came on stage, Mick Jagger danced around like a whirling dervish for 2 hours. They went off stage. We hadn't sat down. We hadn't stopped singing the words. It was like sort of Rolling Stones karaoke. Every single song was a belter, and it was absolutely incredible. They've still got it, and I just find it extraordinary that of all the people you would expect, the idea that the likes of Mick Jagger and Keith Richards would be part of the cancel culture on their own songs, instead of saying, up yours, it's a song of its time, of course it doesn't mean anything racist, move on with your lives.
Exactly. And where are those rock rebels today who are going to push back against woke culture? That's what I'm asking. None of the young bands are doing it. They're all embracing this.
We had rock rebels. We had the Kaiser Chiefs lead, front man, a few weeks ago at a gig, asking people to put their hands up to tell them which COVID jab they've had. This is weird.
It's unbelievable. The only person pushing back against this stuff is Johnny Rotten, good old John Lydon, who's become a real critic of some of this woke nonsense and who recognizes that it's an assault by the bourgeois on working class culture. He makes some brilliant comments about this. So the Sex Pistols still have it, but the rest of them, including the Rolling Stones, seem to be losing it, which I think is a tragedy.
Can I say, I feel the need to mention, as I'm sure I've done before, Johnny Lydon once carrying my mother's bags off a plane on a transatlantic flight. She queued next to him in the loo, and she said, I don't know why everyone made such a fuss. He was a very nice man. But there we are. I'm just finding, I must ask you, as a leading Brexiteer, about what's been going on with Lord Frost managing, it would appear, to convince the EU to make some extraordinary concessions announced last night at a press conference by the Vice President, offering various concessions in terms of checks on goods coming over the Irish Sea in a bid to keep the Northern Ireland Protocol alive. But this totally non-renegotiable part of the Brexit deal, apparently up for renegotiation as of today.
Exactly. Remain has told us for so long that this wasn't possible. You couldn't amend it. The EU would never agree, and they should never agree. But now Lord Frost has managed to get lots and lots of compromises from the EU, which I think is a very good thing. My view, however, the slightly more pessimistic side of me thinks, well, why should we even celebrate the right of the UK to move goods around its own,
Yes.
within its own borders? It's a bit sad that we feel we have to celebrate that. My view is the Northern Ireland Protocol in the round has got to go. Northern Ireland is a part of the United Kingdom. I know some people aren't happy about that, and it should be treated as a part of the United Kingdom rather than being in single market rules, and rather than being beholden to the European Court of Justice on certain issues. So it's still wrong. There are still lots of work to do, but I think Lord Frost has made some great headway.
I have to say, I think he does an extraordinary job. Brendan O'Neill from Spiked Online, thank you very much indeed.